have a lobby day for families and children, and we are a group of, there are some organizations involved, Voice for Choice Advocacy, my organization, Educate Advocate, and a number of other organizations that have sponsored the lobby day. But really it's for parents and their children to come and meet their legislators, their assembly members and their senators, and for them to express the bills that they want that legislature to support and those that they want them to oppose. And really what we've looked at as a group, parents and organizations, is which bills are going through the process right now that are for families and for kids, and which ones are not. We have a number of bills that we're supporting, things like clean water in schools. There's a dyes information, sort of synthetic dyes information act, and there are a number of other bills that we're supporting. The main one that we're opposing is SB18, which is the Children's Bill of Rights, which you probably think, wow, you know, you're for families, you're for kids, surely you should be for that bill. What we've realized in reading it, and there were amendments that came out yesterday that were put through to Legislative Council yesterday, is that it really isn't for families. It's for children, and it's against parental rights. And we truly believe that it's the parents that we need to support. You know, a lot of the rhetoric around SB18, the Children's Bill of Rights, goes with getting children out of poverty, giving them a better education, a better start in life, 0 to 5, getting them a better public education. And the Children's Bill of Rights doesn't do that. It doesn't do anything to support families. It really looks at and takes away the parental right and gives it to the state. And it's actually, you know, I was looking at the amendments and reading through them last night, and I realized, wow, any legislator that supports this really thinks that parents can't do the job of parenting. And the United States Supreme Court has upheld through Troxel and Granville, which is a Supreme Court case, that parents have the fundamental right to raise their children. This SB18 goes directly against that. It basically says that the children have all of these rights, and that the state will determine what is in the best interest of the child. So in each of these areas, the state will determine what's in the best interest and what will they put money towards. And you know, I look at it and I'm you know, in a better place than many parents. We have 22% of our children in poverty today. And, you know, I look at it and say, well, you know, I probably have the right to choose because I have the money to choose it. But the lower income, especially backgrounds, babies and families are the ones that are going to be targeted. And we really believe that they should have a choice. And the parents should be the ones raising those children. The state should support those parents and help those parents get out of poverty. But it shouldn't be that the state determines what's best for a child. So they have the, I wouldn't even say an obligation, they have the option to give money towards programs that can support families and support children, like public school education in California is a constitutional right. So, you know, things like we have Medi-Cal, we have Dental-Cal for our children to get medical care and dental care if they're in the lowest income brackets. We have programs like Head Start that help early education. We have all of those programs in place, and you know, absolutely funding should be given to them. And don't get me wrong, I want all of the things that are in SB 18, I want them for our children, but the parents should be the ones determining what those rights are and giving those rights to their own children rather than the state giving them those rights.
So lawmakers have said that they are open to working with parents or, you know, critics of this bill. Are you open to working with them at all?
So we've had discussions with the authors, actually not with Senator Pan, but with the authors of the bill. So Common Sense Kids Action. And, you know, we had conversations with them prior to the amendments, and honestly, the amendments are worse than the bill was to begin with. You know, it doesn't satisfy parents' rights. Yes, they wrote the word access into every single piece of the amendments, saying that that children should have the right to access all of these things. But we know government, and in a year, that word access can be stricken from every single one of those, and we've got a horrendous bill. And you know, it's interesting to me, the Democrats, it's a Democrat bill, but when I look at it, they should be afraid of both sides should be afraid of if the other side gets into power at any point, because they could turn this bill completely around. The other piece of it is, which we've been in our conversations with Common Sense Kids Action, it has become obvious, and it actually is in the amendments of this bill, that they really want tax reform, and they're cloaking tax reform in children's rights, and that is not fair. If they want tax reform, they should go do tax reform, but they shouldn't use our children as a way to get there. They've mentioned Prop 13, they've mentioned new economic sector taxation, in other words, online or grey market taxation, sales tax, income tax. It's all actually in the bill now, which is amazing that they're actually putting it out there. But I don't think the Democrats or the Republicans are going to be behind a huge tax reform and tax overhaul through a Children's Bill of Rights. There were 7 sections in the original bill that went to the Legislative Council. What they've done is they've basically taken each of those 7 sections and expanded on it. So each of those sections now has 10 points below it, and you read through it, and it's funny because I was reading through it last night, and I went, okay, is this a law enforcement bill? Because it says, the child has the right to police enforcement, firefighters, and emergency response. Well, yeah, we all have the right to that under the current laws. The children have a right to public education. Yeah, we already have that in our laws. So it goes through, and I was asking, is this a hospital bill? Is this a school bill? Is this a law enforcement bill? Is this a penal code bill? Is this a welfare code? But it just, you go through it, and it's like half of this, or not half, the majority of the stuff in that bill already exists in about 300 to 500 laws that we currently have in our statute. And you go through it, and how are they going to enforce this? Another one is fair pay. Well, we have a minimum wage. How are they going to enforce fair pay, that the employer gives fair pay? It's a huge monstrosity of a bill that just doesn't make sense. And we have laws, and we go through, our legislators put forward 6,000 bills in a 2-year process. We have enough laws there that we could take from what we've got. We could fund the programs that we know work and get children out of poverty, get children ahead, because that's what we want. We absolutely are for our children. Our children are in a sorry state in this state, but it shouldn't be through SB18.